Hello and welcome to my channel. This is my return to YouTube after a month or 2 months break. I am back. Beautiful World Cup. Spain, thank you for winning and putting Argentina in their place. But that's enough. That's enough. This video is about one transfer that every Premier League team should get. And with these transfers, I try to make it realistic. Some of them are not, some of them are just for fun, but overall this whole thing is just for fun. So I'm gonna go from top to bottom and based on alphabetical order. So at the top, we have Bournemouth for some reason because AFC, but we have Bournemouth at the top. And for Bournemouth, I was looking at their squad. Next year, they're going to have Europe, so they're going to have to, recruit some players. And for me, I went ahead and went for a striker. Krupi is injured. He's going to be out for about 4 months. So from the start, they will only have Evan Nilsson. So I do think they need a backup or potentially someone to push Evan Nilsson to the bench. And for that reason, I went for Vlahovic. Now, Vlahovic hasn't had the best of times in, I guess, 5 years now. I don't know how long it's been. But ever since he's been at Juve, he hasn't really been good or hasn't really shined as much as he did previously. Either way, I think Bournemouth should get him. He has European experience. He is capable of being better than what he is right now currently. His wages will probably be the only problem, but to me, I think a good smack in the back of his head will make him realize he is not that worthy, right? He isn't worth what he wants. Wages are too high, basically. But other than that, I think Vlahovic to Bournemouth makes sense. Next up, we have Arsenal, and for Arsenal, I mean, they have a pretty stacked squad. I mean, everywhere you look, they're pretty solid, except left wing. So currently they have Martinelli and Solis, who they got from Club Brugge, and then they let go of Trossard. So I think a left wing makes sense here. They were looking at Vinny, but Vinny re-signed for Madrid. So the left winger I have for them, or who I would offer to them, is Schlotterup. I think that's how you say his name, Schlotterup. The left wing Norwegian guy from Benfica. Now this guy, I have high stocks in him. I think he has potential to be, maybe this is crazy, but top 5 left wingers in the world. To me, the way he plays, the way he moves, how direct he is, reminds me of Kvaratskhelia from PSG. So basically, this would be just a cheaper option to him. I think it would make sense. He's very direct, different type of player than what Arsenal have. Martinelli's just pace. This guy's actually skillful. He likes to take on his men, able to cut on his right, take a shot. I think he's great. So yeah, for me, Schlotterup makes sense. They clearly do want a left winger as well. Unless they want to start with Martinelli. I don't think that's the plan, but I think Schlotterup to Arsenal makes sense. Next up is Aston Villa. And now Aston Villa, this is going to be a big one here. Most likely would be a loan here because he would be too expensive. And the player I went for was Endrick. Now Endrick to Aston Villa, to me, makes sense. Aston Villa is a very direct team. They like to go at you full throttle down the middle. They don't really use the wings or the flanks that much, which would benefit Endrick, right? He will see a lot more of the ball. And Endrick reminds me a lot of Aguero, how he can take a shot from wherever. He's small in stature, but very strong. He just knows where the net is at, which is something that Watkins struggled with last season, and they had to bring in Tammy Abraham. Didn't really work out there. But I think Endrick can work out here. He went to Ligue 1 last season on loan, and he did pretty good there. He got himself 8 goals and 8 assists in 21 games for Leon. That is incredible. And if Endrick really wants to take his career seriously, I think he needs to leave Real Madrid. I don't think he has a starting position there. I mean, you have Vinny on the left, up top you have Mbappe, and now you have on the right Diomande. Where exactly he's going to start or see any minutes at all? I genuinely don't see him getting many minutes. I think he needs to go on loan, and I think Aston Villa is the team for him. Next up is Brentford, and for Brentford, I kind of struggled here. I was looking at their squad. They have decent options in each position. They have backups as well. They don't have Europe, so they don't really need that many players, so I struggled here. But I ended up going with the center back. Currently, they have 5 center backs. Actually, looking at their team, they have way more than 5. But none of them really stand out to me. They have Ajer, Collins, Vandenberg. There's no real quality there. I guess they're quality, but they're not anything crazy. So I went for a center back that probably imposes more fear in strikers. I don't know. I told you I struggled here. I struggled with this one. And this guy also has European experience. Not that Brentford needed, but you know, he's been in tough situations. He's been in the Prem before as well with Chelsea, and he's an Englishman, so he'll be returning to England, right? And this guy is Fikayo Tomori. So Tomori has been rumored to leave Milan for like the last 2 seasons now. Hasn't really left, and now I think his contract is up. I'm pretty sure. So I think it's perfect time to return home, right? Go back to England. And I really thought about it more on the player side. If Tomori wants to get a chance at the international stage, right? You know, get international caps. I think this is the way to do it. Come back home, play at home soil, so the management or whatever can see you, right? Usually when you play abroad, they don't really see you. They don't really care unless they hear about you. Tomori, you're not really gonna hear about him unless he plays in England. So in the player standpoint, it makes sense. Team standpoint, probably not as much. Maybe if you want more of like build your brand, right? Because of his name, I guess. Even he's not even that much of a brand name. But besides that, I think Tomori makes sense for Brentford. Next up, we have Brighton, and this one's maybe an unrealistic one, but hear me out. So currently, Brighton have 4 strikers. Actually, no, they have 3, because they just got rid of Welbeck. So they got rid of Welbeck. They have Evan Ferguson, and then the 2 Greek kids. Currently, they have 3 youngsters. I think they need someone with more experience, more what's it called? Someone that has proven that they can play in the Prem and can put up numbers, right? Someone with experience is what I'm trying to say. For me, if I was Brighton, I wouldn't really want to start the season with a youngster like Evan Ferguson, who hasn't really fulfilled his potential, you could say. He's been put on loan, hasn't really worked out for him. Now you let go of Welbeck, who got you like 15 goals last season. I think you need to replace that. And that's why I'm offering Ivan Toney for for Brighton. So Ivan Toney, it would be hard to pluck him away from Saudi, considering the wages he's getting. I think he's loving it over there. He had 42 goals in 49 games. That's insane. And then 11 assists on the side. That is insane. So yeah, he clearly knows where the net is at still, right? He is 30 years old, so he has experience, right, abroad as well, in England as well. I think it makes sense. You get rid of one of your experienced strikers, replace him with another one. Again, but this will be an issue of wages. He will most likely want some crazy wages, which Brighton probably won't want to give out because they usually don't. They usually go for unknown players and then make a name out of themselves. But I do think they need to replace Welbeck. And Ivan Toney, to me, makes sense. Next up on the list, we have Chelsea. Now, Chelsea, I was looking at their squad, and I think they need to sell more players than they need to buy. Their squad is thick, and they keep buying players. So I ended up going with the goalie. Now, their goalie positions, they have a lot of players, but then they sold some, loaned some. I genuinely don't know what's going on over there. But currently, they do have Sanchez starting. And if Chelsea want to move on to the next level, I think Sanchez needs to go. Sanchez isn't terrible, but he isn't elite, or he isn't of that quality where you want to be, right? Champions League positions. And I don't think he ever will be in that position. So I went for a goalie, and this goalie is not Magic Mike or Mike Maignan, who has been rumored to go with them for like the last 3 seasons now. I don't think it's not him. It's not him. But it is still a Serie A player, Serie A goalie, and it is Svillar from Roma. Now I heard big things about this guy. He's good on with the ball at his feet. He's good shot stopping, right? And honestly, what else do you need to do if you're a goalie? If you're good with the ball at your feet, and if you're good at saving shots, you're perfect. You're elite. And he can do both. And he's 26 years old, which is not even his prime years, right? Prime years is usually in his 30s if you're a goalie. So he has plenty of time to actually reach those levels, which I think he is near already. So to me, this makes sense. I don't really think it's a risk. I think he's proven the last 3 seasons he is a good goalie. The only thing is he might be a little expensive, but Chelsea clearly don't give a damn about money. So yeah, Chelsea, go get Svillar. Next up, we have Coventry City, and honestly, I don't know anything about Coventry. I don't really like when the new teams that promote are teams I'm not familiar with, right? I like the Leeds, the Burnleys, those teams, not Coventry. Anyways, they're in the Prem now. And this is kind of a silly one here, but I'm offering them Adama Traore. Now, Traore, we all know him. We all know and love him. He's that big unit, right? Fast as hell, scary as hell as well. And he always seems to find a Premier League team to snatch him up. He was at Wolves, West Ham, Fulham, and now Coventry. You found your guy. Even though I don't even know if they need him, but to me that doesn't matter. Traore needs to go to Coventry. Next up we have Crystal Palace, and now Crystal Palace, I think they need more than one purchase. Their team is very thin, and they have Europa League. So I'm not too I'm feeling scared for Crystal Palace, I should say. I'm not confident in them for this season. But one player I do think they should get is a center back. Currently they have Convat, I think that's how you say his name, Riyad, and Chris Richards, and that's it. They lost Lacroix, they lost Gehi, of course, and I don't really think they have backups. So they desperately need some center backs in. And one center back I want to offer them is Mobokazi. I think that's how you say his name, Mobokazi. We saw him at the World Cup for South Africa, and he was, in my opinion, head and shoulders above the rest of the South African teams or players. He was that short center back at the back that was built like a truck. I don't know if you guys saw any South Africa games, but that was that guy. He's good on the ball. He carries the ball as well. He's very technical. He can play center defensive mid if he wanted to. He has an engine as well, which is crazy. He's a center back. You don't really need an engine. He is quality. He is quality. And he's only, I think, 20 years old. I think someone needs to make a move for him. He has a high ceiling. The only issue is he recently moved to his new team in January. So leaving within 6 months doesn't really make sense. But I think with a good wage or a good fee, right? A good, what's it called? Transfer fee. They can ply him away from, I think it's the MLS. So yeah, Crystal Palace, go get yourself a center back, and I think Mobokazi is the right guy for you guys. Next up, we have Everton, and Everton, they don't have Europe either. I think their squad is all right as it is. Maybe a striker, but I didn't go for a striker. I ended up going for a midfielder. Currently, they have Gardner, and I generally don't know who else in that role. Oh, Norgard. They got Norgard as well. And they usually run 2-8s, or 2-8s, 2-6, whatever you want to call it. And I think they need another one. And I went for Patrick Berg. Now, if you guys know who that is, you know his qualities. He is more of an IQ player rather than a physical player, which probably isn't the best for the Prem, but I think this guy, his IQ is high. This guy is very smart. He's creative as well. He is pretty slow, but I think his IQ makes up for it. We saw him at the World Cup as well. He was on the bench at the beginning for Norway, ended up starting, had a great World Cup in my opinion. And also we've seen him at Bodo Glimt. Remember last season, Bodo Glimt had a good season. They beat they beat City, Atletico, they beat Inter. I think Berg deserves a move, and I think it could be to the Prem. At Everton, where they need a player that can dictate play in that midfield, right, alongside Gardner. Everton need a player like that, and I think Patrick Berg is the right player to fill that role. Next up, we have Fulham, and Fulham is one of those teams where I gave an unrealistic pick here. Now, for Fulham, they need to replace Harry Wilson. They let him go on a free, which is crazy to me. They should have resigned him, give him what he wanted, but they ended up not doing that, and now they need to replace him. So currently, if you guys are aware, they have Arbeloa as the manager, ex-Real Madrid player. They have Gonzalo Garcia as their new striker who replaced Raul Jimenez, also from Real Madrid. And then they got another player from Real Madrid who I'm not too aware of, but he's from there. So I'm saying continue that trend, right? Get another Real Madrid player. And I went ahead and said Brahim Diaz. We're all aware of Brahim Diaz, a quality little player, techie. He drifts off to the right a bit more than centrally. I think he's good, just not great. He cannot start for Real Madrid. I just don't see him starting there. Centrally, they have Arda Güler and Bellingham. At the right, they have Diomande now, and when Rodrigo comes back, he'll be there. Genuinely don't know where Brahim Diaz is going to be starting there. I think he should leave. And that's why I'm saying Fulham. 3 Real Madrid ex-employees went to Fulham. Why not make it 4? Now, it's unrealistic because of the fee they would have to pay. It'd probably be too much for Fulham. But if somehow they can get him on a loan, that'd be better. Of course, it'll be cheaper. And they can replace that right-sided hole, Harry Wilson-shaped hole that they left. I think it makes sense. They're not quite the same player, but they can offer you the same type of creativity. So yeah, unrealistic, but Brahim Diaz to Fulham. Next up, we have Hull City, and this one I guess is kind of unrealistic. Not unrealistic, but I don't know. I don't know. It's because like once again, I don't know Fulham. I don't. Sorry, Hull. I don't know their players. I just don't know what they need. I never really heard of many of their players. So Tuanzebe was with Ipswich last time they were here. Then he went over to Burnley. Both teams relegated. I say now make another switch to another Premier League team that just got promoted in Hull. I don't know if Hull will need a center back, but Tuanzebe has Premier League experience with 2 different teams now. Actually 3 with United. Why not make it 4? Stay in the Prem. You get a Premier League experienced player as well. I think both parties will be happy with it. To me, it makes sense with my limited knowledge. And then next up we have Ipswich, which is the last and final promoted side. And to me, I think this one makes sense for everybody. I think we all want to see it. Delap, go back home. Go back to Ipswich, where you made a name for yourself, right? You got like 10 goals or something like that in the Premier League 2 seasons ago now. You went to Chelsea, didn't work out. Go back to Ipswich. And I'm not saying a sell here. This is most likely will be a loan because he probably won't want to go permanently back to them. But at least a loan, 1 season, get your form again. You have less expectations. It's better for you mentally. Ipswich get their striker back that can get them goals, and I think everybody's happy. The only thing that probably will stop this is that O'Neill's at the wheel now instead of McKenna. McKenna would have done it, but now that it's O'Neill, I don't know if it would go through. But I still think it makes sense. Delap goes back to his old team where he got some goals. Ipswich gets their old striker back. Next up, we have Leeds, and for Leeds, I went for relegated player. They got relegated last season from Wolves, and it is Krejci. And he, to me, was their best center back for Wolves last season, which isn't hard to say or to do because they weren't really that good. I say snatch him up. Keep him in the Prem, right? Keep him in the Prem. Your center backs do need some help, right? Some backups. They lost Streak, however you say his name, the Dutch player. They have Rodon. You can improve. You have Bijou. They have Bijou. James Justin, who is jack of all trades. You can play anywhere. Bornau, who when he came on last season, I wasn't really impressed with him. And that's about it. Oh, and they brought someone. They did buy someone to replace Streak. But I think you still need another one. And to me, that makes it would make sense to get Krejci, who has Premier League experience. He can be on the left side or centrally. I think he can be centrally as well. I think he's a decent little player. I think Leeds level as well, so I think it makes sense. Next up is Liverpool, and now this one probably won't go through because this player is rumored to go somewhere right now. He's linked elsewhere. But I think if I was Liverpool, the management, I'd try to hijack the deal. Currently, they're looking for center backs. They have Van Dijk and then God by their side. They generally don't have any other center backs. They have Joe Gomez is their second best in terms of, I guess, name. They have the Jack kid. They have the Italian kid. I forget his name. Yeah, it's looking pretty bleak over there in the center back position. So I think they desperately need a center back. And for me, I think it would make sense to hijack that Romero deal that Atletico has cooking up right now. Romero is not a bad center back. He's just dumb at times, and he doesn't try when he doesn't care. Currently, he doesn't give a shit at Spurs. So snatch him up for Liverpool. He has Champions League football. He has Premier League experience. He's the right-sided center back you're looking for. It makes sense. He's going to be the muscle or the aggressor to Van Dijk's smooth elegance or whatever, and his captaincy, right? It makes sense to me. The only issue is probably that Spurs don't want to sell to another Premier League team, but I think generally teams don't give a damn about that anymore. They sell to whoever if the price is right. So Liverpool, I think you should do it before the end of the day because it looks like it's going to happen soon. Him going to Atletico, right? But yeah, snatch him up. Next up, we have Manchester City, my team, and I think this recommendation is probably one of the least I like. It was hard to pick a player that would realistically come to us, but I went for a right back. I went for a right back. Currently, we have Matheus Nunes and Rico Lewis. Rico Lewis, I think it's time to go. He isn't the player we thought he was. Matheus Nunes is a center mid, converted to a right back, I think we need an actual right back to push Mateus Nunes, because he was pretty good last season, but I still think we need a second option. And for that reason, I went ahead and went for Vanderson. Now, you guys don't know who Vanderson is. He is a Monaco player. He's Brazilian. I forget how old he is. He's 25 years old. He's still pretty young. Right-sided. He plays wing back, so he goes up. He goes up a lot. And the reason he hasn't made a name for himself that much in the past season was because he got injured. He got injured, and then I'm pretty sure he got benched off of that. So I think Vanderson would make sense. He's had a couple of seasons under Monaco now, put up some pretty decent performances, and now that his stock is kind of, or his price is kind of low due to the injuries, right? Due to him not being present, I guess you can say, last season. I think City should swoop in and take him, right? When the price is low. But yeah, Vanderson likes to go up. Defensively, he's solid. I think he's pretty well rounded. The only thing is, would City really go for him? I don't know, but I would. That's what matters here. So Vanderson to City. Let's go. Next up is Manchester United, and Manchester United, I went for a right back as well. They have Champions League football next season, so they need some more depth in that position, in my opinion. They have Delap right there. Not Delap, sorry. They have Dalot. They have Dalot there, and I guess you could say Mazraoui, but Mazraoui is more of a left-sided player. So currently it's just Dalot. He's kind of not who you want to go to war with. He may be good going forward, but defensively he's a liability, and his end product is terrible as well. So I think they need a new player, and that's why I went for Guila Doué. Now, not Desiree Doué, right? Not Desiree Doué, his brother, the Ivory Coast right back. So he's 23, he's young, right? He has a lot of potential. Made a name for himself, I think, last season. He got 7 assists in 34 games and 2 goals as well. So he does go up. He likes to go up. He's good attacking wise. He's good defensively as well, which is the opposite of Dalot, I guess you could say. He's an improvement on Dalot. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, this makes sense to me. He gets his big move. He probably wants him. He sees his brother at PSG. He probably wants his move as well. And I think United need a right back. I think it makes sense. Also, Diallo is at United, and that Ivory Coast link could be juicy. You never know. You never know. But yeah, Doué to United. Not Desiree Doué. Guila Doué. Next up, we have Newcastle. And for Newcastle, I try to do the same philosophy. They have this transfer window, right? Try to copy that. Currently, they're buying players that no one really heard of. Basically going for the cheap option. They're going for the cheap option and hoping that it works out. Similar to what Brighton's doing, right? That Brighton sort of way of approaching the market. That's what they're doing this season. Because clearly the old formula wasn't working. They're all leaving, right? Isak left, Tonali left, Gordon left, Bruno left now, Guimaraes left to Arsenal. I mean, they're getting stripped apart. Eddie Howe left. This team is going through it. So I went for a player that they can probably afford. Maybe he might go for a little bit more. But his name is Keys Smith, or Smith. Keys Smith? I don't know, something like that. He's a 6-foot box-to-box player. I saw him for 1 game, and I liked the way he played, and I always kept him on my notes to scout him, right? But yeah, he is a good player. A lot of praise. Last season, he had 5 goals and 9 assists. So that's pretty good. That could replace like a Bruno numbers, right? Or Tonali, whichever. But I think it makes sense. He is a unknown, I guess you could say, kind of unknown player. Got some goal contributions. They need a midfielder desperately now that they lost both their pivots. I think going for him would make sense. And he's a physical presence as well. Go for Keys Smith, right? Smith. All right, next up we have Forest, and for Forest I went for Timber, not Urian Timber, the right back from Arsenal, but what's his name? Quinton Timber. I think it's Quinton. Now Quinton Timber, he is at in the Dutch league. Sorry, no, he is at Marseille. He recently moved to Marseille in January. Now that is not good for me because you know what? Ply him away from Marseille. You can get him. Clearly, Marseille got him for a reason. He was pretty good for Feyenoord. He had 4 assists and 4 goals before he left to Marseille. And then for Marseille, he hasn't been all too great. He's 25 years old. He's the twin brother of Timber, Yerin Timber, and Yerin Timber is a absolute beast going up and down the pitch. He's literally his twin. I think Quinton Timber can reach that potential as well. That's literally my logic there. Also, Quinton Timber is a midfielder, so he'd be replacing sort of what Anderson does, or maybe being alongside Singare. They will most likely be using that wingback system since Glasner is now there. So I think it would be Singare next to someone else. And I don't trust Yates or Dominguez to be next to him, so I think Timber makes sense. Another physical player in there. So yeah, Forest, get yourself Timber. I know you got the money to get him. You guys have a lot of money now. That's how Glasner went to you guys. Get Timber. Next up, we have Sunderland. And Sunderland, I have... Who do I have? I have Unahi. Unahi, we all know him from the World Cup. Last World Cup and the one that just passed. He is an incredible player when he puts on the Morocco shirt. I don't know why at club level he isn't really that good. But for Girona, he had 5 goals and 2 assists. Didn't play that many games. Well, he played 24 games in the league. I think he could do better. I think he has crazy potential. He's 26. He's physical. He's creative. He can defend. I think this guy has it all. The only issue is I don't know if he just doesn't try at club level. He probably just needs to move, like change of scenery, right? Something like that to get the best out of him. And I think at Sunderland that could happen. Currently, Sunderland have one player that plays in that role, Enzo Lefi, who I don't really rate. I think they could replace him, get better, right? Especially since they have Europa League now. They're going to need backup, and I think Unahi is the one to go for. So Unahi to Sunderland. And the last team we have Spurs. Now for Spurs, I was looking at their squad. They've done a lot of transfers already, so it was kind of hard to pick a player that they needed, right? They got 2 center backs in, 2 midfielders in. So I was looking at their attack. And now their attack is very thin, and it needs to improve. They don't have Europe, so they don't have to worry about depth, but they need to worry about getting better. I went for a striker here. Currently, they have Solanke and Richarlison. Kolomoani has now gone. And Solanke, to me, is a one-season wonder. I think that one season where he had 19 goals or something like that, he will never replicate that again, in my opinion, honest opinion. And then Richarlison, he's not really at this level for Spurs. Not the level that Spurs need him to be. So I went for a striker, and this striker is named Esteban Lepau. So Lepau was actually the top goal scorer for the French league last season. So that's a good feat right there. He had 20 goals in 32 games in the league. So that's pretty good in my opinion. He also had 5 assists in all comps. I think he's a good player. Even though I haven't really seen him, I've seen highlights. He's 26 years old. He has a lot of potential. He isn't physical. He's more of a techie guy. You can play off of him a little bit. He can take a shot from wherever as well. I think he's a decent player, and it is a bit different to what Solanke and Richarlison offer. And again, like I said, Spurs need goals. They need something going forward, and Esteban Lepau could be that guy for them. So those are my recommendations for everyone. Tell me what you guys think about the recommendations, right, in the comments. Tell me which ones you like and don't like. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Leave a like, subscribe, and peace.